Today we're going to break down how a single video, shot by a fan, managed to spark a huge online controversy for K-pop superstars BLACKPINK. It really gets into some big questions about performance, pressure, and what exactly artists owe their fans.
So, let's just dive right in. What actually happens when one of the biggest, most popular girl groups on the entire planet gets accused of, well, not even trying on stage? We're going to look at the viral moment that put BLACKPINK directly under the microscope.
All right, so it all kicks off with one performance captured in one fan video. Let's take a look at what exactly happened on stage that caused such an uproar online.
So, picture this. We're in Bangkok. BLACKPINK is in the middle of their massive deadline tour. They're on stage performing their hit song Shut Down. This specific performance, this is the one that's about to be seen and picked apart by millions of people.
And here's the crucial part. This wasn't some official broadcast or professional review. No, this was a clip from a fan's phone that just exploded online. And the two words that people kept using over and over to describe it, messy and non-cohesive.
So at some point during the song, the group does a pretty standard thing. You know, they try to get the crowd hyped, asking them to scream and make some noise.
But here's where it got a little awkward. People watching the clip online were like, wait a minute, is anyone actually making noise? The crowd seemed really quiet, and commentators online immediately drew a straight line from that quiet audience to what they saw as a lackluster performance. So that clip is out there, it's spreading. How did the internet react? Well, it was basically an avalanche of criticism. It was immediate, it was harsh, and it was almost all negative.
I mean, the backlash hit hard and fast. This comment here really gets to one of the main arguments people were making. They were questioning the very idea of BLACKPINK's popularity, saying there's this huge gap between how famous they are and the skill they showed in that clip. And the criticism wasn't just about a lack of energy. People really zeroed in on the choreography. As this person joked, "Dog, did they practice in diff rooms?" The feeling was that they looked totally out of sync, almost like they hadn't even rehearsed together.
And then, of course, the conversation shifted to the fans who were actually at the concert. You saw a ton of comments like this one, showing real sympathy for people who'd spent a lot of money on tickets only to get a performance that, in their eyes, just wasn't worth it.
This comment, though, wow, it really cuts to the heart of the whole thing. The accusation wasn't just that they had an off night or made a few mistakes. The feeling from critics was that they just didn't seem to care, that they showed a real lack of passion for their own job. So if we boil it all down, it wasn't just one single problem. It was a whole collection of issues that people latched onto. The lack of cohesion in the dancing, super low energy, the feeling that it wasn't worth the money. It all combined into this perception of them being unprofessional, with a kind of lethargic stage presence you just don't expect from a group that big.
But to really, truly understand why the reaction was so intense, we have to zoom out. Because this viral moment, it didn't just happen in a vacuum. It landed right in the middle of a debate that had been going on for a long time.
And this right here is the key. The source material for this explainer points out that people questioning BLACKPINK's stage presence is nothing new. In fact, it's been a constant topic of debate for the past few years. That's why this clip hits so hard. For critics, it felt like proof, like an "I told you so" moment.
This table does a great job of breaking down that central conflict. On one side, you have the sky-high expectations for a top-tier global group. You expect tons of energy, perfect choreography, and a show that feels worth the money. But on the other side is what critics said they saw in that clip: a lethargic, low-effort vibe, messy dancing, and a feeling that fans just weren't getting what they paid for. So now you can see why this one video had such a massive impact. It wasn't just about a single messy performance in Bangkok. It became a flashpoint. It was like throwing gasoline on a fire that had already been smoldering for years, bringing all that quiet discussion and debate bubbling right up to the surface. And honestly, that's why this story matters, even if you're not a K-pop fan. This whole episode is a perfect example of the pressure cooker that modern global artists have to live in. Every single move they make can be filmed, every note is analyzed, and the expectations that come with that level of fame are just astronomical.
Which kind of leaves us with this final big question to think about. For a global artist on a world tour, where does the obligation to perform at 110% every night end? Is perfection even possible? In an age where everyone has a camera in their pocket, it really makes you wonder what it means to be a performer today.